All right, welcome back to the channel. So, a boxing website, World Boxing News, just announced that Tyson Fury is cleared of all accusations that he cheated against Deontay Wilder. Bold-faced lie. Bold-faced lie. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, there is a guy named Philip. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Phil. Yeah, Phil J. I've never met you before, dude. But this cornball stuff that you just wrote, man, get out of here with this. World Boxing News, who has been, without a doubt, out of the UK, the #1 cheerleader for Tyson Fury since he won his belt, let you know, dude, that boxing media is really not media in the way that we think of media. Like somebody that is really out there investigating something to try to give you information that you would not otherwise have, right? Somebody that is going to take somebody that is going to, who believes it is their job to give their readers or their listeners all the information that they really need to know in order to make an informed decision, right? That's what media does. But what people in the boxing media do, what they call media, people call old media. I don't think of it as old media. I think of it as current public relations, boxing's public relations, because that is what they're engaged in. They're engaged in telling you the information that the boxing promoters and the networks want you to know, right? Get the differentiation. When you are telling somebody something that you think they need to know and provide them information so that they can make an informed decision, right? The public can make an informed decision. That is media. That is that is journalism, okay? Public relations is when you have a relationship with a person or a relationship with an entity, and you take information that they want you to have and give it to the people that they want to have it also. So press releases, if somebody says, hey, a boxing match is going to be taking place on this day, right? That, my friend, is public relations, public relations. You are giving the information that the boxing guy wants, what the promoter wants, and you're giving it to the fans, right? Now, you could also say, is that journalism? No, because it's just simply just a press release. You're literally taking what they give and giving it to somebody else, right? So when you see this article, I just needed to lay that out so that when we get into this article that you will see that this is not journalism. This is what Mr. J is what Mr. J is engaged in here is public relations, because he makes a claim that is ridiculous. He talks about the title of the article is Tyson Fury faces no action over Deontay Wilder rematch glove allegations, which is not true. He does face action. He faced the actions of boxing fans. Well, no, I guess no action from the WBC, no action from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. True. However, if you want to consider thousands and thousands of boxing fans believing that you are a cheater and that you should never be in a boxing, you should be penalized for multiple years, and your public image being tarnished, and people just basically knowing that you are a cheating scumbag. If you don't consider that any action, okay, no action. But down here later on in this article, it says as a heading, Tyson Fury cleared, concluded by condemning those who are spreading the news. Suliamon says it's very sad to try to take away something from a huge victory, one of the greatest victories of the sport in the century, and to try to put a blemish on that event is so irresponsible and so stupid. Now, first of all, What the fuck is that? What is that? How does that say that Tyson Fury was cleared? Because Mauricio Suliamon said he didn't believe it means that he's cleared? How? You know what I mean? How? Because and let me tell you exactly why it can't mean that he was cleared by Mauricio Suliamon. Because Mauricio Suliamon never investigated anything. In order for him to be cleared, Mauricio Suliamon would have had to charge him with something. If Mauricio Suliamon never charges him with something, then how can Mauricio Suliamon clear him? He never considered it for a minute. Similarly, and if you don't believe me, what about Alejandro Jimenez? Right? Was Jimenez cleared when Mauricio Suliamon said that he believed her, that she wasn't a man, or he said he didn't believe that she was a man, but the accusations were around that and performance enhancing drugs. So when she popped dirty, was Mauricio Suliamon's belief in her, did that clear her? Of course not. When Mauricio Suliamon said that he trusted and believed in Canelo Alvarez, did that clear Canelo Alvarez? Of course it didn't clear Canelo Alvarez. That's just Mauricio Suliamon saying that he's not going to pursue anything. But none of this is anything, number one, that is new, because Mauricio Suliamon said this a week ago. So why is it that they feel the necessity? Because again, remember, you don't see any articles like this about Tyson that actually analyze whether or not Tyson Fury loaded his gloves, because that, my friend, would be journalism. If you look at the gloves and you say, well, let's examine this. Let's see. Let's look at the pictures. Let's see if these pictures were photoshopped or not. Let's call Grzinski, the guy that took the pictures, and ask him, is this photoshopped or not? Do you see, did Phil J go and call that guy and ask him that question? No, he did not. No articles in here are up on the website about that at all, because it's not his job. He's not trying to investigate and get to the bottom of it. He and the boxing and World Boxing News and the WBC are just dismissing it out of hand with no evaluation whatsoever. That, my friend, is public relations for the WBC. That is public relations for Tyson Fury. That is not investigative reporting where you say, let me go see if there is any truth to this. That is nothing but smearing the people that did the research, because there are people out there like Boxing Ego, Blue Blood Sports TV. There's people in the UK. There are people like Focus Ball. There are people like Young Pharaoh. All of these guys went and actually, they broke down videotape. They looked at the evidence. They interviewed fighters like Steve Cunningham. They interviewed fighters and asked about it like Joey Spencer. They actually went out and found information that nobody else had about this issue, presented it. They gave their opinion about what they saw, but they gave you the information that you needed to make up the decision, to make up your mind for yourself. And that's what, like, for example, that's what happened to me. I wasn't interested at all in this subject. And then I saw the videos. People kept coming to me, no, Fanon, look at it. So I looked at it. And once I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, these guys are right. There's no way that I can look at this glove on Tyson Fury's hand and not admit that his fist is in the middle of the glove, right? There's no way that I could look at Tyson Fury's hand, complete hand being shown as a punch lands, and not say that this dude has padding not over his knuckles, right? But is World Boxing News giving you anything like that? Is ESPN giving you anything like that, right? Has Ring Magazine given you anything like that? No, because they're not in that business. They are in the business of giving you the information that the promoter wants you to have. They're in the business of giving you the information that the fighter's manager wants you to have. They're in the business of doing that because what they get, because that's how they hold up their website. That's how they make their living, because they are given these inside access by two fighters to give them interviews and to give them press passes. If you don't have access to those fighters, if they don't have access to those fighters, if they don't have access to those promoters, if they don't have access to those press releases and that information as it comes out, before it comes out, then the people that follow their website are going to go look at somebody else's website. They can give that information to them and can get it to them more quickly. And if they are going to go out on a limb and say, hey, look at everything, look at all the dirtiness that is going on in the sport of boxing, right? Look at the glove situation with Tyson Fury in the first fight. Look at the glove situation with Tyson Fury in the second fight. Look at the fighting tactics of Tyson Fury in the second fight. Look at the Combuterol. Look at how the WBC has changed the levels of Combuterol for testing it for the WBC clean boxing program, and how that's basically a license to cheat. Look at what happened with Dillian White and how the British Boxing Board of Control allowed him to fight without any knowing he had tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs, knowing that his gloves, that he was fighting in a different pair of gloves than when he was the first fight. You don't ever hear these guys breaking down any of this stuff, any of that stuff. You might have a guy like Thomas Hauser who makes his living off of writing books, right? Who primarily is an author and is his own source, right? Is his own media outlet. Unless you see somebody like him or these guys that are actually writing detailed books about it, you never see this type of stuff about a Steve Kim or Kevin Iole, unless it is with somebody that does not give them special access, like an Al Heyman. Al Heyman, you don't get to call Al Heyman and ask Al Heyman what he thinks. You don't get Al Heyman isn't sending you text with, some inside information and asking you to write an article, doesn't call you and ask you, hey, can you write this article or can you write that article? He doesn't give you any of that. And as a result of not getting in all of that, you see how those media people are more than willing to throw him under the bus at any given time, like off of the most scant evidence, like the PBC is going out of business because somebody who was with the company that invested the money was asking some questions about the money that was invested from Waddell Reed, right? They can get all deep into that, but miss the obvious fact that Waddell Reed invested in the business. They did not make a loan. They made an investment. They bought a piece of that business. You don't get to complain when you buy a piece of a car. You bought a piece of a car. You and this guy are half owners in a car. That's an investment in the car. You don't get to complain and ask your money back if he wasn't able to get a job delivering pizzas with that car, right? And say, well, I'm not getting enough money on my return on my investment, so I feel ripped. Whatever, dude. It is what it is. You own it, dude. It's not a loan, okay? Anyway, they couldn't understand any of that, but could dig on Al Heyman all day. But when it is things like, and when it involves Bob Arum, when it involves Golden Boy Promotions, when it involves those type of guys, when it involves Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren, unless it is the promoters ratting each other out, then Frank Warren can put something out about Eddie Hearn and get somebody to print what he personally writes about Eddie Hearn. But anyway, man, the media guys, dude, I would appreciate it if you guys could really just do journalism. If you could engage in some honest journalism around this type of situation, because right now that is absolutely positively not what you're doing. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.